You are watching Global Dragon TV's Natural Healing Discoveries. Thanks for joining us for a special report on cancer medical Qigong. American Cancer Society has published cancer facts annually since 1951. In 2017, there will be an estimated 1.68 million new cancer cases diagnosed and 600,920 cancer deaths in the U.S. National expenditure for cancer care in the U.S. totaled $125 billion in 2010, one-third of total hospital cost, and could reach $156 billion in 2020. Cancer continues to be one of the leading causes of death around the world, and we are far away from finding the real cure for various cancers at the moment. Most current cancer treatments focus on the cancer itself, or how to remove or reduce tumors. But little has been done on finding and removing the root causes of cancer and how to prevent them from growth and recurrence. Today, we take our camera to the University of Maryland School of Medicine to discover a new type of cancer treatment program. This program is significantly different from any existing cancer treatment programs. This Medical Qigong-based Cancer Self-healing program is designed not only to help build the strength and energy needed for healing and recovery, but also improve the internal environment that cultivated cancer growth, such as stress, emotional disturbance, relationship, lifestyle, and nutrition. It is a complete whole-person health and recovery approach to improve patients' overall health and quality of life while undergoing other traditional therapies. This program is created and led by Dr. Kevin Chen, an associate professor and researcher at the University of Maryland School of Medicine and president of the World Institute for Self-Healing, Incorporated.
Backward. Closing forward. Dropping backward.
With Chinese origin and a lifelong Qigong meditation practice, Dr. Chen is among the few scientists in the U.S. who has both extensive knowledge of Qigong as well as active involvement in Qigong and meditation research. He is the associate editor-in-chief of the English version textbook Chinese Medical Qigong, 2010, and the publisher of Yang Sheng, a magazine that promotes self-healing of the body, mind, and spirit. Dr. Chen has extensive experience using Qigong to facilitate health and healing in people facing cancer and have offered similar extensive Qigong training for cancer patients for many years. He is the creator and organizer of the university's Medical Qigong Cancer Self-healing Retreat program, one of the few such programs at the universities in the country.
There's a lot of research and literature out there to support the argument that our lifestyle, our nutrition, our using of electricity, using of drug with medicine use without think about the side effects, or even using of the sunscreen without notice that the sun is good for us. So those things has not been very well supported in terms of prevent cancer, but actually active or adding the cancer growth. Those is the area, even though we don't have scientific conclusion, but more and more research suggested our modern lifestyle has been contributed to our cancer epidemiologies. As a research psychologist, what I noticed is most our cancer treatment is focused on cancer or tumor per se. Then we try our best, try to remove the cancer, remove the tumor, but we have not done enough to actually targeting on the reason people have cancer. Can we remove that reasons? Can we change that environment that was friendly to cancer in the first place? That is area the integrated medicine, or what we call complementary and alternative medicine, can play an important role. For example, right now everybody knows nutrition is one of the factors that cause the cancers. Everybody knows the stress will cause the cancers. However, if you go to see an oncologist, he's not going to advise you how to eating. They're going to not advise you how to manage the stress. From a psychological or legal perspective, that is, you are address the cancer without address the cause of it. It's more practice of medicine, right? You know the cause, but you don't address them. You're only treating the cancer itself. So that is a phenomenon we need to change. And as a patient of cancer, you need to have that knowledge to make that change yourself. Because our medical doctor, our oncologist, they have been spending their life to understanding cancer, but not treating the environment that produced the cancer. So they don't give you advice on stress management. They cannot provide you advice on your nutrition. You need to get that knowledge someplace else. So in order for you to have a completely recovering from cancer, you need open-minded to look at another direction besides the best way to remove or eliminate cancer itself. Usually, if you go the traditional medicine treatment, you will have some improvement of quality of life, but not guaranteed, because the radiation, the chemotherapy have serious side effects. We all know that. But if you're adding up the complementary alternative medicine, like acupuncture, the Qigong practice, some stress management program, you will definitely have much better quality of life. And most importantly, you have much better chance to survive of cancers than you just use Western medicine alone.
The top priority of this self-healing program is to help participants to change mentality about cancer recovery. Cancer is not your enemy, but an alert about your inner environment and lifestyle. It is the cells crying for help. Turn traditional searching for help outside to searching for help within, so as to rebuild confidence in recovery. It is the immune function and self-healing power that eventually survive and cure the cancer. Other important components of the self-healing program include: focus on reduction and management of stress and anxiety, as the cancer phobia is one of leading cause of treatment failure, while worry and stress will further reduce patients' immune functions. Teaching 2 evidence-based Qigong systems designed specifically for cancer recovery: the Taji 5-element Qigong and the Guilin New Qigong, which can help students rapidly rebuild immune and healing system. Students learn and leave with the skills to continue Qigong practice on their own at home. Behavioral and lifestyle reprogramming through identifying the risk daily routine. As cancer experience is an urgent alert from life, we must learn to identify health-inducing changes in lifestyle, thinking patterns, habits, and behaviors, such as healthy diet, forgiveness, acceptance, positive thinking, exercise, and so on. Teaching evidence-based self-healing skills such as grounding, nutrition therapy, self-acupuncture, energetic fasting, etc.
Ready? Go. Rising forward, open. Backward, closing forward, dropping backward, open, stay, closing forward.
University of Maryland is one of the very few state colleges offer an education program and actually a patient outreach program, the 7-day cancer Qigong treatment program. Can you talk about this program?
Yes, this is a program designed specifically to become complementary to whatever is already available in the fields, because our medical institution has been very advanced in how to identify, treating, or even remove the cancers. However, they have not done much about why those environment, this person had cancer, but that not other person. What makes this person unique to be able to become the victim or become a good shell for the cancer stay and grow. So that is area we try to stand in. We think people have cancer is not a sickness from outside. It's actually in the biological process. The genetic mutate have this, what we call cancer cell. And those cells who are supposed to be eliminated by your immune system very easily. That idea has been supported by research study. They have been doing autopsy on the people who died, non-cancer reasons. And they found out 70% of those people who died of cancer actually have cancer cell in their body. In other words, cancer really is a very common phenomenon in the life. That means everybody will produce cancer from time to time because of a genetic mutate process. However, why is certain people who have cancer cell not being eliminated by immune system but growing into a big cancer tumors? That is because that environment or the body's immune system was not able to strong enough to defend themselves. So our retreat is focused on the other side, the one has been not being treated by cancer therapies, but has been existed for the cancer to stay and grow and development. Or the emotional disturbance or other factors we have not been taken into account for the risk factor of cancer development. Those factors have created environment in our human body was very friendly or at least appropriate for the cancer not only produce, but also stay and grow into a big tumors. So that is area which I think will have huge potential to use integrated medicine and complementary medicine to make differences in the cancer patients' outcomes. We want to reveal everybody's healing potential within. That's what we call the self-healing potential. That including your self-defense system, that's the immune system, and self-repair system. That means your body when the body getting hurt, they can heal themselves without any medications. The third one is called the self-regeneration system. Your body can regenerate whatever you need. That is what we call the stem cell research has been found out. We have that potential, except right now in medical community, they use the external source to activate stem cell. In our retreat, we use Qigong. We use a traditional Chinese medicine method to activate that stem cell to do whatever you need, your body was needed. Close. So we have two options here. We're going to continue doing next fall. So we're going to do the point step for the next fall. But if you have closing, this is what all you're going to do. You're going to continue move on to the switchy breathing and relaxation standing. In between, you have a swollen level. Okay? We're actually teaching the patient two Qigong system has been proved in China, hope many, many cancer patients. One is called the Taiji 5-element Qigong system. That is the most meditative, created by Master Bing Hui He, who is from Guangdong province. And another one is Guoning Xin Qigong, the Guoning New Qigong. That is created by Master Guoning. It's more popular than Taiji 5-element Qigong in China because it's being taught in park, almost every park in China. Every city you can find group people practice Guoning Qigong, and thousands of patients has been survived in Guoning Qigong. And actually, recently in Cancer, one of the top magazine, top academic journal, they published an article by a group scientist, some of them from China, but funded by National Cancer Institute from Andy Anderson. They have done research in China to teaching the patient the Guoning Qigong after their radiation therapy for breast cancer, and measure their quality of life, their mood, their fatigue. And they found out that they have significant improvement for patients' quality of life and depression and their fatigue syndromes compared to the control group. So it's a very positive outcome for the cancer patients. But of course, in our cancer retreat, we try now to advantage that we can treating cancer, reduce cancer. We don't advantage that. We said we're going to do something the hospital and the doctor has not been done. That means it's the environment we're focused on. So besides teaching Qigong, that two Qigong, we're also teaching them how to change their lifestyle, how to change their behavior pattern, how to change their diet in order to be more healthy, prevent themselves from recurrence of the cancer, and or become completely sickness-free, have a healthier life. We're basically teaching not only the Qigong form they can practice every day, but also teaching what they should eat, or how to change their routine, their daily routine, like what time they get up, why they should go to bed before 11 o'clock, because there's a biological clock that the Chinese medicine concept, when you should let your body detoxify to rest. Otherwise, you might be challenged for if you don't go to sleep before 11 o'clock, when your gallbladder, when your liver start, active to doing their own repair, regenerate, or detoxification process, you don't get that benefit. So you get a unprocessed detoxification process in the liver, overload the liver, and then you end up with some liver-related symptoms. Some natural relaxation standing, coming to 100.
So it's fairly well established at this point that certain dietary patterns lead to an increased risk of cancer. Okay, eating lots of processed foods, high amounts of sugar, grain-fed red meat, and just a generally processed food dietary pattern. But what is really overlooked, I think, is during the treatment process that prognosis can be improved by food. And really the cornerstone there is to eat a whole food diet with as few processed foods as possible. So lots of organic and fresh, if you can, vegetables, fruits, berries especially, lean protein sources, so things like wild-caught fish, for example, healthy fat, and lots of spices and herbs. I'll talk about some of the specifics because all of these factors have a positive impact on the way our genes are expressed. So they turn cancer-causing genes off and turn cancer-protective genes on. So with every bite that you take, you have a lot more power than you'd think. There are certain things to think about in particular when it comes to optimizing prognosis once a diagnosis has been made. Managing inflammation is one of the biggest things. So higher inflammation has been shown to be associated with decreased survival. So your omega-3 fats, increasing more of those. That comes from your small wild-caught fish, so things like sardines, salmon, mackerel, so on, those kinds of things. Decreasing omega-6 fats, which tend to be pro-inflammatory. So this would be in your refined oils, certain nuts. Nuts are okay in moderation, but not overdoing it. Grain-fed meat and so on. So inflammation's a big thing. But it doesn't stop just with omega-3 and omega-6 ratio. Spices, as I mentioned previously, are one of the best things to eat. So things like turmeric, the orange spice, ginger, which has been used in traditional Chinese medicine for thousands of years, and many others, red pepper. So it seems like that would be inflammatory because it tastes spicy, but it's actually quite potently anti-inflammatory. So lots of different spices. Drinking green tea can help manage inflammation. So there are a lot of foods that can manage inflammation. Hand in hand with that would be managing blood sugar. So part of the whole food diet would be not a whole lot of refined and processed carbohydrates. So cutting down on things like bread or pasta, rice. Not to say you can't ever have these things, but not too much of them, and not without good protein and non-starchy vegetables and healthy fats along with them. And that's kind of the cornerstone. If we look at some of the herbs and supplements, things like cinnamon. Cinnamon has been shown to help manage blood sugar. Fenugreek, ginseng. So gymnema, there's many different supplements that can help manage blood sugar. And then you get into a whole just host of other foods that can help. So mushrooms, again, a major component of TCM for thousands of years. Shiitake, maitake, turkey tail, white button mushrooms, all of these improve the body's immune system defense against cancer. You get your cruciferous vegetables, broccoli sprouts. We'll talk about some of the mechanisms in a moment. One of the best things you can do for prognosis. Years ago, the advice was to rest when you were given a cancer diagnosis. Now we realize that wasn't great advice, and from essentially every authority in the field now to say to stay active. And this doesn't just mean exercise an hour in a gym. Resistance training is great, but really we refer to moderate and even low intensity physical activity. So things like brisk walking, that's one of the best things you can do, especially when the weather's nice, because you can get some, get the fresh air, you can get some sunshine where appropriate. Yoga, swimming, Tai Chi, Qigong, many of these different forms, dancing even. So I think it's really just a matter of being more active, and this can be something as simple as taking the steps, parking a little further away, going for a bike ride, and one of my favorites to walk with a friend or partner. At this cancer retreat, which is one of the most, I'd say, rewarding parts of my job, is working with those who attend. They'll learn that they have much more power than they think, that the treatments, are not where it stops for them, that their lifestyle, their behaviors, their attitude, all of these things have a very positive effect on their prognosis. And we've shown through good science, actually, that the kinds of therapies that we talk about in the workshop and offer to participants in the workshop will help the expression of their genes in a positive way, the same way the drugs would. So when you look at something like HDAC inhibition, many of the cancer therapies operate on this mechanism. Well, so does many of the foods that I mentioned, the spices, the vegetables, the berries, these types of things. DNA methylation, the same kind of thing. Many foods have these properties, as does exercise and stress management. So they'll learn that they have much more power to optimize their prognosis than they may have thought.
You can tell your physical condition, but only if you have that you need speed to accelerate more.
Now let's hear what participants have to say about their experience at the Cancer Qigong Self-healing retreat.
My name is Renee Christopher Bordley. I have stage 1A breast cancer, invasive ductal carcinoma, specifically, and carcinoma in situ. He taught us very basic things like organ massage and gathering chi so that I would have more energy, and that at the time I was having joint pain and other issues, pain associated with my cancer therapies, my surgery, et cetera. And so the things like the organ massage and some of the other exercises he taught us were very helpful in managing the pain and the other side effects of the cancer therapies, the conventional cancer therapies. So I did that for at least about 3 years. I was coming to class regularly on Wednesdays, and then I would go home and I would practice in my family room. And it really helped not just myself, but my family mentally. My husband was deeply saddened by my diagnosis. I would say that even he was depressed by it. And when I started practicing the medical Qigong, both he and my daughter, it was very uplifting for them. So people should realize that when you are able to find therapies that are good for your body and make you stronger and more energized, it doesn't just affect you, it affects the people around you. So Dr. Chen offers an annual retreat specifically for cancer patients, and I attended last year, and it just changed my life. It changed my life. It had the golden walking, which I love. It is very effective. It helps very much. I have problems with my lymphatic fluid, and that golden walking, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but it helps with your lymphatic fluid to help keep it flowing. It helps build energy because you're doing preparatory exercises as well that help you gather qi and build energy. And what I noticed is that every 6 months, cancer patients have lab work done. We have blood work done. My blood work started to improve. And the periods where I would, for whatever reason, get caught up with my life and not practice my Qigong as often as I should, or discontinue practicing it for a temporary period of time, I would become lethargic because I was still also on my estrogen blocker. I would have less energy, and problems would start to show up in my blood work. Like I would have elevated blood sugar level, for example, and just some of my other blood markers would not be as good. Then if I start up with my medical Qigong practice again, they would improve. So the reason why I attribute the success to the Qigong is because there was nothing else I was changing in my life at the time that would explain the improvement in my blood work and my lab work. My diet was pretty much the same, which my diet is very clean. I'm very careful about what I eat. But that Qigong, I started to realize that even though it's very subtle, there are a lot of benefits from it, and you have to do it. The more you do it and the longer you do it, the greater the benefits.
Hi, my name is Murph, and I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2014. I had the Western traditional surgery, but declined other Western follow-up medicines. About a year and a half ago, I discovered medical Qigong and started studying with Kevin Chen, first with the 7-day retreat, and then I continued with him on a weekly basis. I have found that it has greatly enriched my life, both in my perspective on life in general, my mindfulness, my stress reduction, and physically it has really enriched my life because I have a lot more energy, feel better, and feel like I have new methods in which to treat, like if I get pain, I have methods in which to treat the pain. I find that meditation in particular is very good with my insomnia. I need to say that I had studied other alternative medicines previous to the Qigong, and I'm finding Qigong to be my go-to medicine, although I still use herbs and homeopathy and crystal healing. Qigong is my go-to one because I feel like I can really feel the energy flow through my body and direct it.
I'm Nancy, and I'm a cancer survivor and a heart patient. I do medical Qigong as a preventative of any future cancers, but I had skin cancer three times since 2001. And luckily, I was able to get a diagnosis very early, and I was able to get surgery to remove the skin cancer from my body because I was able to detect the skin cancer very early. And I believe that early detection is a very, very important part in dealing with cancer. You have to be aware of your body and detect when you have any changes so that you can find out what you have and you can deal with it that way. And I enjoy Medical Qigong because it's a way of preventing, and it's also a way of making you feel very good. I never was a person who had a lot of physical activity in my previous life, and I found that these exercises and these forms are something that I can do, and even when I have a problem with my knee or my back hurts, I'm still able to do things, and I'm still able to get the benefits, and it makes me feel very good. And also, I like doing it because I get support from the people that I'm with, and I'm able to support the cancer survivors that I'm in Qigong class with, and we get a lot of benefit just being there and helping each other through our trials and our medical issues together. And I think that support is a very, very important part of the healing process. And it gives us energy, and it gives us the courage and the support that we need to continue on. So it's all a very, very important part of the healing process.
I'm Vicki. I'm attending the retreat with my husband who has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. I came as a support person for him, and I've learned a lot of valuable techniques that I can use at home for myself as well as him. Just tremendous stress for me, worrying about the future, his illness, and just seeing him suffer with side effects from his chemotherapy. We've learned techniques here that he can deal better than just taking chemotherapy. He can do things himself to make himself well. I can do things for myself to make me not worry as much, to help me cope with the stress of unknown illness, what's going to happen. The breathing techniques, meditation techniques, they've helped me in just a few days be able to relax and just feel more settled about his illness and things that we can do together to help him cope and help me cope.
For more information on natural healing discoveries and medical Qigong, go to Center for Integrated Medicine, University of Maryland School of Medicine at www.cim.umaryland.edu or contact Dr. Kevin Chen, kchen@umaryland.edu. You are watching Global Dragon TV's Natural Healing Discoveries. Thanks for joining us for a special report on cancer medical Qigong. Please tune in to our next special report on natural healing discoveries or visit our website at www.globaldragontv.com.